cannot ask me, is Shakur ready for Tank? And Tank couldn't make it to the Olympics. Shakur went to the Olympics. So, of course, Shakur is on the same level as Tank. Now, they both are great fighters. So let them fight and let them figure it out. But I'm always Team Shakur, and I'm going to be Team Shakur no matter who we fight against.
How can you, all that's just okay. How can you stop people that can actually hit? No matter all that boxing, you're going to get hit. What you going to do when you get hit?
Now, first of all, let me say off the top, Teofimo has no room to talk about anybody. His last two performances been just as bad as Shakur Stevenson. I can argue that Shakur Stevenson's last performance was better than his because he was fighting Steve Claggett, a guy who had 7 losses. He could not put him away. And Steve Claggett has been knocked out before. Harutyunyan has not been knocked out ever. Had one loss going into the fight, and that one loss he did have, a lot of people thought he won that fight against Frank Martin. Now, with that being said, I believe Shakur Stevenson did underperform. I expected a late stoppage for him, especially going into the 6th or 7th round. I thought Shakur Stevenson had him where he wanted him. Abdullah Mason, a young and upcoming 135-pounder, looks like he's going to take over the division in a couple of years. He said himself, I would have stopped Harutyunyan because I'm a more offensive fighter. Shakur Stevenson's more defensive fighter. And I believe Abdullah Mason would have stopped him. Now, Shakur Stevenson was trying to make the fight, and he was trying to get the stoppage. He was walking him down. But I don't know what's going on with some of these fighters. Teofimo and Shakur Stevenson, they don't know how to cut off the ring. That's one thing. He could have threw more combinations. And what happened to the jab? His body work was on point. And even though I have to agree with Shakur Stevenson, it was an average performance. But at the end of the day, just win. A lot of his hometown fans wasn't pleased with his performance. They start walking out, and Shakur Stevenson is labeled as a difficult fighter to fight, his style-wise, and he's also labeled as a boring fighter. Now, I will say this on his performance. He gave more effort to engage than he did in the De Los Santos fight. I mean, he did walk Harutyunyan down. It just seems like when you look at the apex predators like Terrence Crawford, Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson doesn't have it. You can see it in Abdullah Mason. You can clearly see it when he fights. But you do not see the same apex predator, killer instinct in Shakur Stevenson. He just doesn't have it. He's just a classic boxer like Devin Haney is. In his post-press conference, Shakur Stevenson calls out Gervonta Davis and Lomachenko. And he says Bob Arum is protecting Lomachenko from getting a beatdown from Shakur Stevenson. And I think Lomachenko is negotiating with Gervonta Davis. I think Bob gave him a choice, but he's negotiating with Gervonta Davis because he thinks he got a better chance of beating Gervonta Davis and the money aspect of it. Style-wise, Shakur Stevenson is a difficult matchup. And you say to yourself, Gervonta Davis has super punching power, and he does. But also, Gervonta Davis gives up rounds. Even though Gervonta Davis has the eraser, it's easier to win rounds from Gervonta Davis than it is Shakur Stevenson. With that being said, it seems like Gervonta Davis' team is not interested in a Shakur Stevenson fight. And how Calvin Ford put it is, Shakur Stevenson's a born fighter, and if we fight him, we won't be able to do what we do, which is knock out people. The only way I can see this fight happening between Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson, he can't age Shakur Stevenson out, but he can drain him like he did Frank Martin and Ryan Garcia, because Shakur Stevenson did look kind of big in the ring last night. But anyway, leave your thoughts in comments below. Jay Beezy, I'm gone.